Okay, well, let's start. Okay, so I send you these recommendations for the pronunciation, and there are three things you remember that happen when you speak fast. And well, it's not really fast, it's just like fluently. That's why we hear that the natives, when they speak to us, they speak really quickly and it's hard to understand. I'm going to send you these images. So there you have the recommendations in Spanish and English. Now, let's read some of the recommendations. The first one is assimilation, which in Spanish we can say asimilación. So remember that this happens when we have two sounds are very close to each other, so they can change their sound. Notice, for example, like in number one, like I seen you on WhatsApp, it says, I have to go. So when I say I have to go, it could sound like I have to go. I have to go. So parece que en vez de have to, digo have to, right? I have to go. I have to go. And this is assimilation. So which sound is stronger, V or T? So T is a stronger consonant, we could say, than V. So that's why V changes, like you said, F, right? So you say, I have to go when you speak fast. Now, what about linking? So linking is just to connect the last part of a sentence and then connected to the next one. So just like when you say, I am ready, you don't say I am. You just say, am ready, am ready. So usually when you conjugate or when you pronounce I am, you just say, I am ready, am ready. Okay. Then we also have the other phenomenon, the one called elision, or it's called elision or omission, omission. For example, in a word like probably, you would say probably, probably, probably. That's when you speak fast. So these are the phenomenons. This is what happens in fast speech. It's important that you are familiar with them. I told you that there is an activity in the speaking part. They will make you read. We're going to practice.
Please change the volume using the volume settings on your device. When you are happy with the sound, move on to check your microphone.
Look in the speaking section. So if the first thing is they give you the opportunity to record yourself to check that your microphone works, and then you will hear your voice and you click on start recording. Here you can modify the intensity of the microphone so you can see you're happy with the volume. Start recording. Here you can modify the intensity of. Then you move on. And yesterday we checked a few questions. No, not just.
Hello.
The day before.
Welcome to the LinguaSkills speaking test. Part 1. You will be asked 8 questions. Listen to each question and answer after the tone. For questions 1 to 4, you will have 10 seconds to speak. For questions 5 to 8, you will have 20 seconds to speak. What's your name?
Okay, so we have these first questions. You will start speaking when you hear the tone. And then you have this bar that tells you how much time you have.
How do you spell your family name? Where are you from?
So the first 2 questions, they don't give you points. They don't score after the question 3.
Do you work or are you a student? What do you enjoy doing at weekends?
So I let you hear these questions so you can see what to expect.
Do you get many opportunities to speak English?
So you see the questions are not very hard. You just have to be spontaneous. You don't have to prepare some answers. Just try to be spontaneous and speak at the moment. these questions are meant for that, like you're having a conversation with a person. Now, I think the next part you have to
What's the
read.
best thing that happened to you last week?
Okay, not yet. So some of the questions get longer. Then you will see the part that I told you. You will have to read some text and you have to try to pronounce with your best pronunciation. I think it's the next section.
Where would you like to live in the future? Thank you.
Okay,
Part
this is the
2.
part 2 is the one I told
You
you.
will see 8 sentences on the screen.
Tres, can you please read this?
You will have 10 seconds to read each sentence aloud after the tone. Sentence 1. Please begin reading out loud now.
Can you please read, Chris?
The library is closed for staff training until 11 a.m.
Good. So you see, you don't have to speak really fast. You have the
Sentence
time.
2.
Please, the next one, Heidi.
Mrs. Hill would like to accept the invitation.
Excellent. The next one, please, Miguel.
Sentence 3.
The bus timetable can sometimes change at short notice.
Sentence 4.
Tres, please.
Thank you for coming to the Films Club's summer event.
Sentence 5.
Please, Heidi.
How easy will it be for students to find accommodation near the university?
Good. Next one, please, Miguel.
Sentence 6.
After you have finished making online payments, remember to go log out of your account.
Next one, please, Chris.
Sentence 7.
UV index reading for 11 indicates an extreme risk of harm from the sun's rays.
Next one, please, Heidi.
Sentence 8.
On average, there are twice as many applicants for undergraduate degree courses as places available.
Okay. So you see the second section of the exam, you have to read this this text. I wrote some of the sentences that we can maybe improve our pronunciation. Check on the chat. It says the bus timetable can sometimes change at short notice. Let's try to practice the letter T in this sentence. Remember the T is pronounced with more stress than in Spanish. So instead of saying timetable, say timetable. Timetable. The bus timetable.
The bus timetable.
Exactly. It sometimes can change at short. And you know, the T here is in the middle. When you have like in the word notice, notice is British pronunciation. So American will be better to say notice. Like nariz, pero con O, right? Notice, notice. The bus timetable can sometimes change at a short notice. The bus timetable can sometimes change at a short notice. Can you please repeat, Miguel? Like maybe a bit faster.
Yes, teacher. The bus timetable can sometimes change at short notice.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Next one. You see that we have, it says, after you have finished making online payments, remember to log out of your account. So here you can do a lot of linking. So for example, and you have the word have, you have. So how can we change this? After you have, maybe you can, when you speak quickly, you say, after you have, after you have. So, you know, in English, H is not muted like in Spanish, but when we speak fast, sí puede llegar a ser muda la H si hablamos rápido. So here you would say, after you have finished, after you have finished, after you have finished making online payments, after you have finished making online payments, after you have finished making online payments, log out of your account. And other thing is that when you check the phonemes, remember that you have the dictionary word reference. And in word reference, it's interesting that some words are not pronounced the way we think. For example, it's not account, but this word, just like you can check in the phonemes, is not account, but you pronounce account, account. So quickly you will say account, account. This is very interesting. Remember that this upside down E, esta E que está de cabeza, this symbol is the weakest of all the sounds of all the phonemes in English. So that means that when you pronounce a word like account, the sound that is at the beginning disappears. You don't say account, you say account, account, like the A doesn't exist. So you would pronounce again the sentence that is on the chat. After you have finished making online payments, remember to log out of your account. Your account, not account. Your account. Your account. Me como la. Again, you have finished making online payments. Remember, after you have finished making online payments, remember to log out of your account. Please, Miguel, could you repeat this sentence?
Yes, teacher. After you have finished making online payments, remember to log out of your account.
Very well. Excellent. So it's way better. And this it happens even in Spanish, but we don't realize, because everyone who listens to a native speaker, they say, wow, you speak Spanish very, very quickly. And the same when we hear someone speaking English, that is their mother tongue. I don't understand, you speak very quickly. Sometimes it's not that they are speaking very quickly, because, you know, different people have different personalities. So someone can speak really quickly, but other person will speak slowly. But the thing is that what they share is that when they speak fluently, they don't make these pauses, no hacen estas pausas entre palabra y palabra like we do in Spanish. So try to remember this. Then the other one, it says a UV. As you can see, we don't say an UV because it's pronounced you, not you, you. A UV, this case is called index. Reading of 11 indicates an extreme risk of harm from the sun rays. Sun's rays, you see sun's rays, but you would say more like sun rays, this appear in the S. And also the F with H of harm, you say not of harm, vamos a decir como of harm, como si dijeras brazo y no daño, harm. A UV index reading of 11 indicates an extreme risk of harm from the sun's rays. Can you please read again, Chris, the sentence?
A UV index reading of 11 indicates an extreme risk of harm from the sun rays.
Thank you. Very well. In the last sentence, on average, if you check the word average, it's the same thing. You don't have average, you see? It's a mix between E and A. Es una mezcla entre el E y A. So you say average, average, average. On average, there are twice as many applicants for undergraduate degree courses as places available. Also, available, we don't say like es un sonido débil al inicio, so you say available. Places available. Places available. No places available, places available. On average, there are twice as many applicants for undergraduate degree courses as places available. It's just a thing that you can practice it. Can you please do it again, please? Heidi, can you pronounce this paragraph again?
I don't remember average. How is the pronunciation, teacher? Can you repeat, please?
Yes, on average. On average.
Okay. Thank you, teacher. On average, there are twice as many applicants for undergraduate degree courses as places available.
Available. Excellent, thank you. So that's the pronunciations. That's something we need to improve. It's work that you that takes some time, it's some training. Okay, I don't have right now the other presentation, but okay, remember that we have is especially there are 4 sounds that are important to practice in English. The R in English, right? For example, we don't say waiter, right? You need to make an effort to say waiter, waiter. Perfect. You can stick to British English if you want. You can say waiter, perfect, but you need to stick to one, right? So you choose 2 pronunciations. Either you say waiter or waiter, but what is not correct to say waiter, waiter, right? Because that is not English, that is Spanish pronunciation. And remember, we say it's not about your accent, but you need to be careful how you pronounce the words. Now, the other one is wall. Wall. So you don't say wall. Why? Because the L, remember, that has something that is palatization, la palatización, which means that your tongue touches as much area of your palate as possible. Entonces, si la lengua la pego lo más posible al paladar, toda el área de mi lengua, en toda el área posible que pueda del paladar. So you are going to sound like you are sucking the tongue while you pronounce it. Es como tragarte la propia lengua al pronunciarlo. Entonces, no wall, wall, wall. Yeah. So that L is like disappearing. Es más como si alargara esa vocal, ¿no? Wall, not saying wall. That's why we also say like here, Beatles, or pickle, or like we checked yesterday, right? León, no se dice lion, you would say lion, lion. line, or lunar, lunar. Yeah, it's more nasal. La L es un sonido más nasal in English. Okay, then the T and D. Remember, T sounds like that. No suena T. T. No suena T. 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 So either you say water, like British, or when you have T in the middle of two vowels, like in the case of water, it's in the middle of A and E. So you will pronounce water, 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 como una R, right? Como en la palabra pera. And here the same, you will say city, city, pickle, pickle, all right? What is the best thing you can do you want to improve? Remember, I always tell you, as natural as possible, try to watch movies, series, something that you like, and try to watch it in English. There are some movies or series that are complicated. For example, English, British English, Scottish English. There are some series that are in Scottish English and they are very complicated. So maybe you will need to use captions. The captions must be in English. Los subtítulos deben estar en inglés y el audio también en inglés. No vayan a poner el audio en español o los subtítulos en español. Both in English, so you can follow the pronunciation. Yeah. It's very important because it's difficult, even if you speak English. For Americans, it's hard to understand British. And so it's the same. Well, for British, it's not very difficult to understand Americans. But sometimes you will see that pronunciation is really hard. Like, I will show you. One second. I will send you a video. Check the next thing. This video is shocking. They are in a parliament in the UK. So we're talking about very formal English. And everyone here is a native speaker. Todos aquí son nativos del inglés en el video que les voy a mostrar. And they don't understand the man. No entienden al hombre que habla también inglés nativo. Just because it's a different region. Some people criticize it because they think it's racist. This man is Scottish. Este hombre es escocés. So yeah, his pronunciation is a bit different, but come on, it's English, right? Es como el español. No tenemos esos saltos tan diferentes en donde nos cuesta mucho trabajo entender lo que dice otra persona en español. And I mean, not in a very formal context, right? Maybe in an informal context, we don't understand some Spanish speakers, but very formal. Check the next thing. Y vean cómo el juez hasta le pregunta si puede repetir lo que dice porque no le entiende. So if this happens to you, I mean, if this happens to these people, this can happen to you. This can happen to me, right?
The Honourable Gentleman, what work is being done to make sure that this place is more accessible, particularly for some of our colleagues who have...
Vamos a ponerlo sin subtítulos, ¿no? Porque los subtítulos, si no lo van a entender. A ver, traten de entender lo que
what work is being done to make sure that this place is... The Honourable Gentleman, what work is being done to make sure that this place is more accessible, particularly for some of our colleagues who have a disability.
Here, here.
I'm sorry, it must be something to do with my Antipodean background. Could you please repeat the question, because I didn't follow it?
Well, Very popular today. I'm saying that a number of parliamentary colleagues who have disabilities do find it quite difficult getting around certain parts of the state. Given that we're doing this refurbishment work, what can be done to make sure that those with a disability are able to move around more freely and the place is accessible?
I'm really sorry. Please, could you do it very slowly and intimidating English? Thank you.
He says, please, very slowly. He's British. He's native British. And the other man is also British, but he's from Scotland. Now we can activate the camera.
Just give any old answer. I think the answer might be helped if you can reply in writing when you read. Right, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I'll try it on the first go.
Oh, no,
Can I? Because I'm Welsh, so God help him.
Yes, so this happens a lot in English. Even you see that between native speakers, it's hard to understand. So, for example, you want to practice, don't watch, for example, I mean, you can watch whatever you want if you like it, but my recommendation is try to watch some TV shows that are American English or like British English. You know, for example, you can check The Crown. Is that The Crown in Netflix? It's about Queen Elizabeth and the royal family, and it's very interesting. It has a lot of history of the UK, so I really recommend it. I watched the whole movie with my wife, and it's an interesting movie. You can check some accents from different parts of the UK, but this English is easier to understand because it's more like standard British English, and also you can do the same with American English. So don't be obsessed. I want to tell you now, reaching this point, don't be obsessed if you don't understand 100% of what people tell you. You will always have this thing because remember, English has a very different pronunciation rules or doesn't have any rules at all to help you. So you only have, it's with practice. You will understand people with the countries you socialize with the most. If you're in Canada or you have Canadian colleagues or friends, you will understand more the Canadian English. If not, maybe American or British. All right, so we completed the topics for speaking, also some vocabulary that we can use. Now, let's check the other section of the test that we haven't seen yet. And this is the writing section. So writing is very important. You need to, for example, write emails, maybe for your company, or maybe you need to read something and reply on. And you know that there's a platform like LinkedIn that professionals use a lot. And I can give you many options that can help you to improve your reading and writing. So one of them is social media. And maybe you like Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, Instagram and Facebook, or X, que antes era Twitter. These are good for you to practice. Now, if you don't like the social media and you're a professional, try to use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, maybe you know it, is a social media, but it's for professionals, right? It's not only for looking for jobs. So try to use LinkedIn and you will see people from different countries who write very professionally in this, on this social media. And you can make friends, you can interact with people too. Maybe, I don't know, for example, maybe you are a lawyer. So you can go to LinkedIn and I don't know, you just look for lawyer. All right. You can find maybe people from other countries. Let's see. United States, for example. Okay, for example, there is this woman who is a lawyer. Okay, but it's in Spanish, right? Okay, Jason. And you can check what they post. Okay, he hasn't posted anything. 1 second. Okay, well, you can read some articles. She looks Latina. I think she speaks Spanish. But well, you can check posts and you need to choose a topic that interests you the most. Okay, so the writings we already checked reading, and we haven't checked listening, but we need to check. We checked speaking section and now the writing section. The writing section is 45 minutes, the whole section. We're going to read a little bit about the tasks. Please, Chris, can you read this slide about writing?
Writing. The writing module asks candidates to input the answers using the computer keyword. Responses are automatically scored by the system. Results will be available within 12 hours.
Excellent. All right, so this is the section. It says there are 2 tasks and they are answered like there is the artificial intelligence, the computer that analyzes your results, and also a real person. Okay, let's see. So what are the 2 sections? Please, Victor, can you read part 1? Or Miguel, please, can you read part 1?
Yes, teacher. Part 1. Candidates read a short text, usually an email. They have to use the next information and the 3 points that are listed to write an email of at least 50 words. Candidates should spend about 50 minutes on this task.
Excellent, thank you. So the first one is more informal email. This is like something you write to a friend. It's like in social context. And it's shorter. It says you need to write at least 50 words, but remember 50 words is just the minimum. If you want to get a good score, you need to write at least 200 words. If you want to get a good result, it's not 50. Remember, it's 200 for this section. So it's 4 times more. 50 is just for you not to fail the exam, because if you write 49 words, then it's like nothing for you. It's 0. But if you write 50 words or 51 or 60, so it's like basic level. So you don't want to get a bad result in your exam. So it's 200 words at least if you want to get a good score in this section. Okay, what about part 2? Heidi, can you please read part 2 in the next section?
Yes, teacher. Candidates read a short text describing a scene and respond using the information provided and the 3 points listened. Lingual skill general candidates should write a text of at least 180 words for a wide audience, and may be asked to write other texts of different types. For example, reviews, articles, or publication on websites.
Excellent. So now this one is more formal text. Here you are writing an opinion. Is usually an essay. Se escribe en estilo de ensayo. So you write your opinion about, I don't know, maybe you write a letter to your boss, or you write in a blog, here you need to use a more formal style. So that is the difference between part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is shorter, but the context is also informal. In part 2, you need to write a longer text. Actually, here is, well, not longer. So it's also, we would say 100, 180. So twice that would be 400 as well. So you try to write in both parts 400, it's okay. And now this is, like it says, a review, an article, or publication, but needs to be more formal. Excellent. So let's check how the exam looks like. There is this exam, like you can have a view more or less. Let me show you. One moment. Okay, here it is. Okay, so the part 1, let's read the exercise and instructions. Please, Victor, can you read the instructions?
Híjole, y ahora sí vieron lo del test, y ya no llegué. No manches, un día bien loco, pues. Ahorita te cuento.
Please, Victor, can you hear me? Okay, Heidi, please, can you read the instructions?
Yes, teacher. You should spend about 15 minutes on this task. You have to recite this email from a friend who you went to college with. Continue, teacher?
Yes, please.
Okay, teacher. Do you know it will soon be 5 years since we finished college? I think we should contact our old friends and arrange to meet again. Have you got any ideas about what we could do to celebrate and when? Write and tell me, Jan. Write an email to Jan.
Excellent. Okay, so here it says, like I told you, 50 words. Now check, this is an example. This is a sample of how you need to do it. As you see, it says 50 words, but how many words this person wrote is 236. So if you want to get a C1 level, which is the highest score, but it's not only about the amount. Let's check what are the characteristics to write an email. So it says, you see that we have 3 bullets, ¿no? Son 3 puntos de los que nos pide hablar. So first, you need to understand something. Your writing style can be good and everything, but you need to follow instructions. It's very important that you follow instructions. They are telling you what to talk about. So, and you have 3 bullets. Suggest a good way to celebrate, explain when would be the best time, and offer to help organize the celebration. So you have 3 things to talk about. What happens if you only talk about the first bullet and the second bullet, and you forget about the third bullet? Well, so you're going to get a bad score because you didn't talk about the 3 bullets, the 3 points they told you to talk about. So if they tell you, talk about this, this, and this, so you need to mention those points. Now, how can we organize the paragraph in your text? Well, you can see that this text has, well, there's introduction, and there is 1, 2, 3 paragraphs, right? Why? Because the first paragraph, this one, is answering the first bullet. The second paragraph is for the second, and so on. The third one is for the bullet. And then we have a paragraph for introduction and a paragraph for conclusion. Okay? So it's important to remember how to organize your text. So always you need to have introduction paragraph. If you are talking to a friend, so it's you need to say a greeting. You need to say hello to the friend, and then you start talking about the first point. This is the first paragraph. So if you have 3 bullets, you need 3 paragraphs, plus introduction paragraph, plus the conclusion paragraph. So in total, 5 paragraphs. If you have here 4 bullets or 2 bullets, so it's the same. You need to make a paragraph for each bullet. Okay, now we have here some other reasons. It has some reasons, like here is the text, and then on the left you have the reasons why this person deserves C1, why this person deserves such a good score. So it says, a CFR states that learners at C1 level, es lo que estoy leyendo el cuadro naranja, the ability to express themselves with clarity, precision in personal correspondence, in using language flexibly and effectively, including emotional usage. The text produced here provides evidence that the candidate has those abilities. She or he has produced an email with very engaging tone. ¿Qué es engaging tone? Con un tono llamativo. So you need to make your letters. Remember that there will be a person checking your exams, and you don't know how it could influence in this person after checking so many exams to find a text that can that it's entertaining. You know, you don't need to make them laugh, but you need to make it entertaining, with ease, so you can produce your ideas. And it says, throughout the text, the candidate demonstrates full control of the grammar she has used. Aquí un ejemplo, buen uso de gramática, eso es importante. How do we know that someone has a good use of grammar? Well, because they refer to different structures. Hay uso de diferentes estructuras gramaticales. It says, refer to future events. Habla acerca del futuro. It says, a wide variety of structures has been used with flexibility and accuracy to make suggestions. How about we could meet, I think, offers to help. If you want, I could send. And vocabulary is used appropriately and accurately. And there are some good examples of collocations. ¿Se acuerdan que hablamos de collocations? Bueno, aquí también se evalúan. So, come up with a better suggestion. Por ejemplo, es ocurrirse una buena idea. On a business trip to Japan. There are no issues with spelling and punctuation. Eso también es importante. Que se escriba la palabra correctamente. Ortografía y puntuación. So remember to write commas. If you there's something on the internet, if you, for example, struggle with commas, si llegan a que realmente el uso de las comas es como en el inglés, es muy parecido de la puntuación. there's a website that you can use to check your use of commas, and it can help you to train yourself. So don't forget about those basic things, right? Como pueden ver, se separa en párrafos, no es un bloque de texto, se separa correctamente en párrafos. Then, a range of natural, accurate, and appropriately colloquial language. Lenguaje coloquial, los que vimos los idioms. So nice to hear from you. Okay, it says that the email is likely to have a very positive effect on the target reader. Eso es lo que evalúan. Si alguien fuera a leer tu respuesta, would it have a positive effect? Would it be understood by a native speaker? The text is organized in a sophisticated way throughout the use of cohesive devices such as substitution. Ruth is on holiday next weekend, and I will be away the following one. In phrases that signpost the current stage of the situation and the degree of shared knowledge between the reader and the writer. Okay, entonces se escribe con naturalidad. Like, you imagine that you are really writing to a friend. Okay, you imagine this situation is real and you answer like it's real. Yeah. So if you pay attention, guys, to this writing, no sé si ustedes ven alguna palabra extraña o que no entiendan. Is there any word that looks too difficult? Al final tiene look forward to, que es un phrasal verb, tener muchas ganas de.
Teacher suggesting, it's a propuesta, sugerencias.
Exactly, sugerencia.
Thank you, teacher.
Correct. Do you see any word that you don't understand?
Yes, teacher.
What word you don't understand?
Teacher, what means poor?
What means what, sorry?
What means pub with the third paragraph?
Okay, it's British form to say a bar, un bar. In inglés británico, say pub. A pub. Un bar. Okay.
Thank you.
But you see, like, it's not very sophisticated, I would say. It's not very, you don't need to use like a very sophisticated words. You see that it's very easy to understand. And if you compare to other texts that you can find out there, this is something that it's like informal because you're writing to a friend. Now, the second part in the writing section, it needs to be more formal. Okay, I don't know, I can show it right now. Okay, we can check it tomorrow. But part two, okay, it's here. Sorry. Okay, in part two, you need to write a little bit more of words. Here it says 180, and here the person wrote 301. So it's like twice as much, como el doble de lo que te dicen hay que escribir mínimo. Bueno, en la anterior parte son 4 veces más. And in this section, you need to write about, if you have here 3 bullets, so it's 3 paragraphs, and you need to write like your opinion about something that is happening. Okay, we can check this tomorrow, and we can also practice some writing skills. I can give you some recommendations to improve your writing we can check it tomorrow. Okay. So, well, we finished for today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye.